Okay, welcome to another edition of Bizlink. We go unscripted because we want to hear the real story and we want to understand what the people out there, the businesses that we're working with or want to work with, we want to understand a little bit more about these folks so that we can get more comfortable and make a better decision. Maybe it's more of an emotional decision, but it helps us make a better decision on what we want to do for our homes and other things in our lives, make ourselves comfortable and maybe make a difference in our communities as well. So today I got Rod Hood back from New Horizon Pest Solutions. And as you know, Rod was in here a while ago. We did a show before and we talked about the pest controlling and how we can take care of that and mitigate that a little bit, take care of our homes, take care of our families, keep us safe, keep us healthy. And after Rod and I have been talking for a while, we decided to take things one stop or one notch higher and what we want to do in pest control and make a difference in my home as far as adding a value to it and then also make it more comfortable and also to make it so it's pretty much rodent free, critter free. And I don't think we can do anything else, buddy, unless we put a bubble around this house. I don't know what else to do. I think we're doing a really good job here. So anyways, Rod, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, we're back. We've been busy working on this project. Rod and I took this on. He allowed me to come in there with him and go down in the crawl space, and we actually tackled this thing. And what are we talking about? What we're talking about is encapsulation of your crawl spaces. And I have seen it. I've heard about it. And coming from Michigan, I was like, what the heck is this? I know that they probably do that up there here and there, but for the most part, it's just raw open. They've got the vents open up there, and it takes care of itself pretty much. I'm sure there's situations where there's a lot of moisture or other issues that they'd have to do it. But down here in the Raleigh area and surrounding towns, this is not uncommon to do this because of the moistures, other situations where you have those critters coming in. And that's what I caught when I first bought the home. And that's where I got attacked by those spider crickets. I say attacked, but you know, they're not going to hurt you anyway. But it was just like, what the heck? And then, of course, the rodents, I found some mice down in there. They had insulation up there and the floor joists up underneath of it. And that was one of the very first things I did is removed all of that, got that out of there so there's no place where they could have a home, and also a trap, if you will, for moisture. Fiberglass insulation we use, I don't believe is the right choice for putting down in a moist area like that, for sure, from what I saw. So it was good to get that out of there for sure. That's one of the first things Rod and I talked about. Maybe we should look at getting that out, and we did. And then we went into mitigating with a variety of different products that you use and your processes and things that you do with your business. And we saw a significant difference by just doing that. But this encapsulation, I am amazed. I actually have a monitor down there and it's actually watching the temperature and the humidity down there. And I am seeing significant difference going on. So I think we did the right choice by doing what we did. But there's more than one way of doing this for sure. And I got a few pictures we'll share here in a second that talks about or shows the different levels that you can go. So what is the most basic level we can go with encapsulation or something similar?
Something similar. Just sealing your vents, sealing your hose, and putting a vapor barrier. That's just the basic of if you want to close off your crawl space. And of course, if your crawl space door is kind of funky, you want to get that replaced too, get that repaired. But that's as basic as you want to go. But I would tell anybody, if you have any kind of moisture in your crawl space, if your crawl space floor if it's not covered by your vapor barrier, get that replaced. You want
Okay.
100% cover.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's what we ran into. This house had, I would say, chunks, pieces of plastic down there, pretty good size. There was a tarp down there. It didn't cover all of it, but there was definitely huge gaps all over the place. And you could smell the moisture, the musty smell going on down there. We had Rod down there. We had to look, make sure that we were okay with mold. That's another issue people got to be thinking about. One of the reasons why you'd want to, because mold can grow down there significantly and it can affect your health. Isn't that correct?
Yep. You have your mold and your fungus grow. So that comes in the process when you get encapsulated of having that mold removed, clean, and getting the fungus out of there, and conditioning your wood, and that conditions your air quality inside the house.
Right, right. And I could actually smell something when I first moved in. Something was going on. But going back to the jumping off track here, we talked about the basics. We could seal up this area, but aren't we trapping the moisture down here now, or is there something else we should be thinking about or doing? What are some other things?
Of course, you have to put that dehumidifier down there with a pump. So you need a dehumidifier to circulate the air, get that moisture out, and pump it out of the house. Pump it out of your crawl space, and that'll keep the air circulating in your crawl space.
Okay. Yeah, I think the first attempt I did, I actually put a dehumidifier down there and we didn't encapsulate this thing yet. This thing was running like crazy trying to pull moisture out of the dirt. Well, you're never going to catch up and never make it. And your electric bill is going to go right through the roof. So you're definitely going to have to somehow stop that moisture mitigation from going up there, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's where you
Okay.
use a dehumidifier. But you do want to get your insulation on the foundation wall. And then your dehumidifier, of course, your vapor barrier, and then put a wall liner up.
Okay.
And that's your total. And then you may, if you have a lot of moisture in your crawl space, consider that sump pump.
Okay, a sump pump. Yeah, yeah. I think that what we talked about, that was one of the options that we could do. And that's one of the things that you do is when you go down there, you take a look at what's going on. Is there moisture? Is there water puddling up? What's going on down there for sure?
Yeah.
I think we talked a little bit about before about the radon too. You said if there was radon, significant higher levels, which can be measured, there are ways to do that, that you also could put a system in or have a system put in to mitigate that radon. I mean, everybody's going to have radon for sure. There's no way around it, but it can be controlled. And that's one of the things I did. I had it measured and we came in well below. So we were fine there. So we didn't have to worry about that. But I will be checking that from time to time just to see where we're at.
Yeah,
but
it's a good thing to keep your eye on there because, like you said, there's a system you can put in to regulate that.
Right. And it's something you can't see, you can't feel, taste, or anything like that. So you have to have it done professionally. They actually come in with a monitoring system and they prefer that nobody's in the house for at least a day.
Yeah.
So it can measure it well and give you a good reading on that. So make sure you do that. And that's something that Rod can help you out with. Okay. That's one thing that's something that should be checked. Make sure everything's okay down there. One thing that we also noticed too is when we were down there working, when we first started, and I've noticed it before, I can't be down there without a respirator of some type. The dust down there was ungodly. It'd choke you, make your throat hurt, and everything like that. But as we went along, I started to notice, in fact, I can go there right now. I could go down there and have dinner down there. It's so nice. It's gone. All that dust and all the issues that were going on down there, it's gone. It could have been some of that insulation, I think, that was disturbed up there in the ceiling.
And then we covered up all your dirt and everything. And so I'm telling you, it's like we added extra 1,000 square foot to the house.
I think so. I think you could actually set up a man cave down there, and I could be pretty happy down there. It's actually very, very comfortable. I don't have the measurements here to show everybody, but we went to, I think we started out, it was like 60, 70, it was over 60. It was over in the 70s, I think, moisture, humidity in that room, in that area. And I wish we would have got a real good measurement when we started, but what happened during this, after we put it in, we watched the humidity go from that level. And right today, I've got it down in the 40s, which is probably a little too low. So I have to regulate it back up a little. 50, 60, I think is what you said, is a good range.
Yeah, in between 50 and 60. Go over 60 is fine, but in between 50 and 60 is that sweet spot.
Yeah, yeah. So the moisture is like, it's very comfortable. It's in the 60s. I know we have cooler weather right now. Yeah. We haven't run into the warm weather. So I'll be monitoring that and see what it looks like. But right now it's holding itself day and night right in the 60s. And that humidity is holding steady. It will not bounce more than 2 or 3 one way or another with that dehumidifier down there for sure. Yeah. So I just got to tune it in to that range that we talked about. I touched it and it took off and went within an hour. Yeah. Today I went from the 50s, shot right down into the 40s. I mean, it's so efficient. Yeah. It really took care of it. And we decided to put one in that not only is a stand still in an area where you can get to, so you can change and maintain the unit. You got to change the filters. Something has to be done on a regular basis, just like your furnace. But we added ductwork and we shot it to the other side of the house underneath the crawl space there so that the air will circulate well through the whole basement area, the crawl space. I call everything basements. I'm used to that, but it is crawl space. It's a very nice crawl space now. I've had contractors over here looking at improving some plumbing and an HVAC system, and everyone that's seen that system that was installed was super impressed how nice it is down there. It's just way better. In fact, I think it's more comfortable down there than it is up here in some ways. And I'll probably be saying that this summer when it gets really hot. I know I will.
You probably will. You probably sit down there for a couple hours looking around like you're working.
Just pretend like I'm working on something. Well, let me show some. Let's see if I can get this screen up here and share with everybody. Let me get back to the very beginning here. Okay, let me start this over. I'm going to back out. Yeah. Let me work on this while we're talking. Is that showing
Yeah,
up on you?
no, I can't see it yet.
Okay, good. I'm going to back it up. I got it out of sequence so people can
Okay.
actually see kind of where we started.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got it right. Yeah. All right. So I didn't take a picture with all the insulation up there. Have you seen this?
No, I'm not seeing it. Here we go. It's coming
Not yet.
up.
Is it there now?
It's coming up. There we go. I
Okay.
see it.
We got a picture of that furnace right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the insulation, there was a little piece left up there. I had somebody come in and give me a hand and pull that all out. But all that was coming down. It was raining down on me anytime you walk down or crawl down in the crawl space. And you can see the dirt and dust that's collected. This is a 42-year-old home. So it makes sense.
And that's a sign of the moisture. If you have moisture in your crawl space, that's a good sign when you see your insulation dripping down like that.
Yeah, it was. It was horrible. Not as bad as some places. We didn't have a moist floor per se, but it smelled like it and it felt like it. So that was some of the remnants of the insulation left. And yes, if everybody makes fun of my HVAC, go ahead because it's going to be replaced here soon. It's all coming out. So we started out, we got all the plastic out of there, all of the pieces and things we could find on the floor and got it out of there. That was a little bit of a chore, but we got it.
It was.
And then this was the last piece of tarp that was found down there. Rod is all the way back there with his light on his head to give you an idea how dark it was. And one of the things we talked about doing, we've seen it in other companies too, is actually adding lighting to your crawl space. And it's basically made for doing construction time and other times where you need some lighting. These are sealed units. They're LEDs. Very inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon if you want. And it's a string we added in there. And check this out. It goes from this to this.
Look at that.
Instantly, we had a bunch of light through the whole crawl space. And it only took us like an hour or so. I think we got that all hung up there.
Yep.
And it made a world of difference. And what you're going to see as we go through these pictures is how this actually started getting brighter as we started adding new surfaces. So there is just a shot a little bit farther in where Rod was at to the other side of the crawl space. And here's your first step. The first thing you did, I believe you went down there, you spent an afternoon or morning, and you sealed up all the vents and you encapsulated the piers, the columns down there.
Yeah, got some of that reflective roll insulation on the wall.
Oh, yeah, that's there too. Yeah, you were doing that too. Yep. Let me give you another shot. That's what it looks like. We chose to go with this. This is a roll material. What did we say the R value was on that?
The R value on that is 7.
Okay. Yep. And anybody can argue with that if you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I know there's other types. There's the foam boards you can go with, and there's other types of materials you can go with. But we chose to go with this and got that up there. It was a little bit of work, but we got it.
That's good.
It does. It came out really nice. Now, I missed a step. I missed one picture. We actually rolled, and how thick is this plastic, was it? Do you remember?
That's 10 mil.
10 mil. It's heavy duty. So we put this around the whole perimeter and covered up all that side there. And then put the floor in. And then we went through with the special tape they use, which was amazing. I mean, you get it on something, it's on there forever.
Oh, yeah, that seam tape is up nuts.
That was crazy. I mean, you can't even do it with rubber gloves, otherwise the rubber glove comes off with it. It just pulled it. It was crazy. And then it looks like we went around and we did the perimeter top.
Yeah.
And sealed up to that area as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yep. There's just another shot. Yeah, huge. It's starting to look really nice. Now I got a couple final. The other thing we did too, we went through and every 4 feet or less, we put banding up to hold that flex duct up there. Again, that's all going to be pulled out and replaced too.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal. Here's a good shot down through here. You can see how bright it actually makes it down here. You can actually put stuff down here now. I would be very comfortable putting some items, your Christmas decorations or whatever it might be, and not worry about it at all. It doesn't smell. It has a very slight smell left. If it does, it's probably still in the wood, soaked in for 42 years.
Yeah.
But every time I go down there, it gets better and better.
Yeah. So, and there are other options too, like I said, to get smell out and everything. So there is something you can do to treat the crawl space.
Okay. Yeah. And we might have to do that, and then we can share that with everybody what it is. That should make a significant difference there. I'm amazed it's like totally gone. This was the unit we went with. We went with the Santa Fe. And as you can see on the back side, we hooked up a 8-inch duct flex, and then we shot it to the back corner of the house itself. And that way the air gets circulated all over the place. What's really nice on the front side is where the filter's at. So if I have to go down there, which I will, because the new furnace is going to have a whole house furnace filter on it. So every time you have to go down and do that filter, you're going to do this filter at the same time.
Yeah.
And so
That's
that
easy.
air down there is constantly, it's going through a MERV 13. So it's constantly being filtered. So it's grabbing that dirt and dust that's in there, if there is anything, and pulling it out, which is just amazing. Just amazing. I'm super impressed. Super
That's
impressed
good.
with that.
Sure.
So you could actually just put plastic on the floor and close off the vents, put a dehumidifier down there and call it a day. I mean, generally.
Good. I wouldn't recommend it. If you go as far as selling vents and putting dehu up, go ahead and put some insulation on the wall and condition the space.
Yeah.
That's what I recommend. But if your
Yeah. I mean,
moisture levels aren't high in your house, just get you a good vapor barrier down. If the moisture level isn't high under the inner crawl space, if you read like 10 to 12, get you a good vapor barrier.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I did have the radon checked prior to starting, and we were below the numbers. I don't remember the number now, but I remember it was down below. They said we were in good shape.
Yeah.
However, down the road here, once this is running for a little bit, I'm going to have it checked again. And if we have to, we'll put some type of radon mitigation, whatever it might need.
Yeah.
And it all depends, excuse me, of what levels we're seeing and what the best course of action is. All right, so you can do different types of insulation down there. You can use different plastics, correct? I mean, there's different plastics out there.
Yeah, we go even higher. Like if someone that likes to store lawnmowers and stuff in your crawl space, you'll probably want to go with a different type of plastic, but more heavy duty. It can go up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with this plastic. It's handling really well. However, if it does catch a snag or a rip in it some way, there is a way to repair it.
Yep.
And that's good. We also talked about in the main corridors underneath there, we talked about putting an extra layer.
Yeah.
Just so if we happen to be going down through and doing some work or some type of product, like you say, a lawnmower happen to catch it.
Yeah, you want to do stuff like that. And you can, like if you have certain areas like under your AC, you can actually put another layer there too, just in case.
Yeah.
Have people working there a lot. Just put an extra layer there because, no one's going to treat your space like you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I probably made Rod work a little harder while it was down there for sure, but it took a few minutes to get her done.
Yeah, it's hard work.
It is hard work. When you get a little older, you start to notice those things a little bit more, for sure.
Yes.
But it was neat to watch the whole process unfold and to actually see what a significant difference it's made down there so far.
Yeah.
And this summer is going to be really fun. So we're just about there where we're getting ready to head into the warmer weather here in North Carolina, and we should start to see some really heavy-duty humidity and temperatures, and we will be capturing some numbers so we can actually see where we were when we started and where we've been now in this cooler type of weather, and then what it'll be like when it's super, super hot. And what it looks like for sure. But my HVAC guys and plumbers, they were just so excited to see this encapsulation. They actually asked, who did this? They were very, very impressed with it. So I can't say enough about what you guys did there at New Horizon, is making that a beautiful place down there finally and adding a value to the home for sure. And I'm also stoked about the idea that we all, except for the door, we still have to fix that. I have to fix that door.
Yeah.
Because I said I would, is the door going into the crawl space. And other than that, I think we've sealed up that whole area down there. I don't have to worry about so much about critters getting in like we did.
Not so much. I mean, it's not 100%, but
no,
it's definitely, the percentage is high that we're going to decrease that pest activity in that crawl space.
Yeah.
Rodents, spiders, it should be a decrease.
Yeah, there was a little bit of spider webs down there when we started.
Yeah.
A little bit of critters. You could see where there had been mice in that insulation. I talked to another gentleman, and he said he actually had a snake skin fall out while he was pulling his insulation out. So there can be just about anything down there if you leave it open. Anything can.
You come around, you come across a cat.
You could. You actually could. I actually seen a house. Actually, somebody left the door off, and it became their new home down there.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to do that, because anything that's going on outside and it's brought in the house is going to be brought into your family and introduced.
Yes.
And we want to reduce those risks for sure.
Yes. Like you said, you have all those critters down there, and they're just using the bathroom. So now all that stuff is getting into the house.
Yeah.
So you got your mice species, everything, possums.
Yeah, this is something else. Yeah, that's another part for sure. So it just makes a huge difference. What other things should we be thinking about as we go forward? I mean, I love this crawl space. I want to keep it maintained. Is there anything that you can think of that we should, other than going down, changing the filters?
That's
Anything else
that's
we should have?
that's about it. Just checking your filter, popping in, just making sure you don't have any leaks and stuff like that. But if you have a routine pest control service and they're checking your crawl space, they'll keep you informed.
Okay. Now let's talk about yours. New Horizons. How do you have yours set up? The general. How does everybody see you? When do I get to see you again?
Every 3 months is when you get to see me.
All right. All
And,
right.
and if you have issues in between, hopefully you won't. You'll see me then.
You see. Okay. Cool. Yep. Yep.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
every 3 months, that's when you see.
All right. Now, when we talk, I want to remind everybody with your services, what are some of the things that people ask for or need when you show up? I mean, what do you recommend? Is it general or is it all by areas?
Most of it's general, especially residential. It's mostly general. You got your knocking down the spider webs and just making sure you treat the garage and the exterior. But
Okay.
that's about it. And just keeping your eyes open for ants trying to get into the house, and that's the biggest thing. Ants, spiders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think our next scheduled get together is 3 months from now, 2 to 3 months from now. And we'll take another snapshot down there, what it looks like, what we found or didn't find. We'll talk about the humidity down there, temperatures. We might just end up sitting down there and eating lunch down there. Who knows? I mean, it's just so nice. It was beautiful down there.
And it's real nice. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And like you said, what kind of costs am I looking at here? If somebody says, hey, Rod, we'd love to have you come over and give us an estimate. Is there a general rule? I mean, I don't know. I've heard prices all over the place from different contractors.
I price per square footage and basically what you need after looking at your crawl space and evaluate. Okay. So it's hard to give you to say it's going to be like this.
Right.
Once to look at it, look at your moisture levels and see what needs to be done, and come up with a price off the square footage.
Gotcha. And you give recommendations as far as air movement down there, radon, moisture mitigation.
Yep. Check your moisture level, check the humidity level down there. Yep.
Yeah. And the other thing I like too is that you've added this service onto your pest control. That was a great idea, because what better way to keep the critters out than to do something like this? And that just makes perfect sense. So you can actually have a 2-for-1 going on here for your pest control to take care of that. Because because we do have, now I haven't seen a bunch since the very first time you came. We mitigated those ants right off the get-go. That was awesome. Got rid of the spider crickets.
Yep. Camel crickets.
Yeah.
Like
some of the funniest things. Nothing like the ones in Michigan, for sure. What was the other thing that we got rid of? We got rid of those. We got rid of the humidity. We got rid of, rodents.
Yep. We had a couple of mice down there.
We did. We actually had, after the insulation was pulled out, we still found one.
Yep. When we were looking down there, cleaning it, about to clean
we
up,
did.
The plastic around. We just shot out of there.
I do remember that. Now, it's just amazing. I keep going down there every once in a while, just check on things. Like I say, we will be doing a segment with HVAC and then also some plumbing, because I'm doing getting ready to do a bathroom. So I'm lining all that up, trying to get that figured out, and then I'll pro permits for that and get that project done. Anything else we should be thinking about, or a person should be thinking about for their homes? Older homes, new homes. Is there a big, huge difference you're seeing as far as what's going on with them when we talk about this?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It's more so it doesn't matter, because you can go to one house, like your neighbor crawl space may be fine. It's dry. And, and it's just one of those things. Yeah. It's just one of those things.
I've had a chance to go on some of these other houses, and you could be right next door to somebody and they've got a moisture problem, you don't.
Yep.
And I didn't, which was really nice. Anything else we can think of that we have to think about?
No. Like I said, get that vapor barrier. Make sure you have a coverage.
Okay.
But also think about rodent exclusion. If I'm gonna be down there doing the cross and doing the vapor barrier, I just tell people, hey, why not just not seal the vents, but put a screen to block the rodents and to seal up some holes. Some foam holes up just to block any rodents that are coming.
Oh, that was the other thing that you did. I remember you went down the very first time. You went around and looked for any cracks and crevices right off the get-go. Where would any type of a critter of any type, whether it be an ant or whatever, you were looking, which I really appreciate. taking the extra step, making sure that everything is A-okay before we even started.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think we also did pest control, your process. You went through the whole thing prior to doing this.
Mm.
So I totally recommend it. Everybody does that first. Get it done.
Yeah.
Get that in place. Then start your encapsulation or whatever it is.
Yes.
Even if it is just to get it down on the ground. But just going up those walls like we did and putting that a little bit of insulation in there made a big, big difference. I did talk to another gentleman. He went with a big, thick foam on his. He's actually got to the point where that space is totally under control all year long. So I'm going to be excited to see how it goes this summer. I mean, just in this, it's been 3 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, we finished up.
Yeah. Seems
it's
like
totally
yesterday.
under control right now. I mean, we've had some nights where it got down to the 30s and it's heading to the 20s. And it still held itself in the 60s in there.
Yeah, that's good. That's the goal.
Yeah, so that meant my floor is not getting as cold as it was before.
Exactly.
Even with that soppy old bad insulation down there that was in there for sure.
Yeah.
That made a difference. And I do know that a person could have the floors re-insulated if they chose to.
Yeah. You could. I try to
I would
stay
definitely
away from.
do.
Oh
Yeah,
with the R19 and stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could see it now that it's under control. I could see it. But right now, I don't think I need to because what we've done has made a significant difference.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. Yeah.
No.
But like you said, some people can't opt in. You got to opt in to do that. That's no problem.
Right. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to share that you can think of?
New Horizon Pest. Check out your crawl space, see what you need, and go from there.
What's your website? You're on Facebook too, aren't you?
On Facebook, New Horizon Pest Solutions, and then the website is Solutions at New Horizon. No, New Horizon Pest.
Okay.
I was about to give you my email.
Right. Yeah, so get a hold of Rod on that. Have him come out and have him check your place out, give you an estimate, make a good, educated decision on this. I always say get 2 or 3, go out there and get them. But what we're trying to do here, what I try to do is on Bizlink is get you to meet the actual owner of the business or somebody in charge and share their philosophy and a little bit more about them so that you get a better idea of what these people are like so that when you do pick something, you feel very, very comfortable about what you're getting. The best you can. We know we're all, sometimes there's so many out there, it's hard. So I want to take some of that out of the equation. It made me feel better. Being able to have Rod on the show and then also get to meet Rod several times. And there was no question about it. Once I got my estimates, I said, Rod, you're the man. I said, you're going to do the job. And I'm glad we did. I learned a lot and I appreciate that. I had a great time putting it in there, even though it was a lot of dirty, hard work.
It's hard. It is hard.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's another thing. If you're the kind of person that's a DIY kind of person, you can do this. But I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, right in front, it's a lot of crawling and maneuvering. In some places, it gets a little tight. And you have to think about the physical part of that and the amount of time that you have to put into this versus the cost it's going to cost you to have him do it.
Yes.
And I've had some estimates that go way over top. And I was just like, I don't know. And then Rod was like right in there. Right in the right blend as far as the costs go. So that was a big decision. I'm a DIY kind of guy. And so I appreciate you letting me go down there with you. But I don't know if I'd have done it by myself. That was some nasty work.
Yeah. It's something that, a lot of people DIYs, if you start doing it, you might stop.
You might. And then what are you going to do? Now you're stuck. You got all these materials sitting around and you don't know what to do. And did you get the right materials? I mean, Rod deals with local distributors in our area, which is another way to support our businesses here. And so that was really cool. And everything was on the spot. We had everything we needed at the time we needed it. And that's what I really appreciate too. We didn't have to wait months for product to come in or have any problems getting something. So that was huge. So they locked it in. So anyways, give him a call. I'm sure you'll be happy with what he did. And if you are a business of any type in this area, I don't care what town you are around Raleigh, give me a shout. And if you'd like to be on and share your unique business and what you do and how you do it, I'd love to hear from you. And I'm sure a lot of folks would be too. Let's get the word out there. Let's start talking local businesses and helping them out where we can. And I look forward to seeing you again on Bizlink. Until then, have a great day.
All right.